Let's talk a bit more about the markets now with Jackie Cavanaugh, portfolio manager at Putnam Investments. Bottom line, Jackie, is we're up since October from the October lows you point out, and multiples now are not cheap in the S&P, and earnings revisions, if we really are going into a slowdown, whether it's soft or hard or whatever it is, a recession, they're still looking for year-over-year growth of like 12%. So if their earnings or estimates are too high and multiples are too high, this market is too high, in your view.
Yes, thank you, Joe. Thanks for having me on. It's nice to see you again. I agree. I mean, multiples maybe aren't too high, but I certainly wouldn't call them cheap. So I don't think we get a lot of uplift from further multiple expansion. And yeah, I think the earnings outlook for 24 is very aggressive. I get the 23 flat over 22. That makes sense. We're still in a pretty strong economy, and things are still doing reasonably well. The consumer's still reasonably strong, but it's very hard to see. I mean, I kind of have to squint. Like, how do I get to an up 12% in 24 when the Fed's actions will definitely be biting? I believe we're going to have a real credit crunch on the back of the drama of the banks over the last month, and the consumer by about October, November will have spent through all their excess savings, and so up 12% just seems really very unlikely to us. And so, we are continuing to expect a lot of sound and fury signifying nothing ultimately at the end of this year, and next year we think there's still some wood to chop on earnings estimates.
A lot of times the daredevils that do those tightrope walks, they usually make it because they wouldn't do it. It's over the Grand Canyon, sounds insane. I wouldn't walk over lava. That doesn't leave a lot of room for error, but they usually make it. Can the Fed be successful in what it's trying to do?
I think they can be, but I think the rope is getting thinner and thinner and much more wobbly, right? I mean, I think the events of the last month, we were skeptical on the soft landing thesis before the events of the last month, and I just think, and we think here at Putnam, that it's going to be a real challenge for the Fed, right? On the one side, they still have inflation that's sticky, a job market that's very tight. You now have OPEC cutting, which is going to put some upward pressure on the oil front. So on the one hand, you would argue they still have work to do on the inflation front. On the other hand, like I said, I think the banks are very likely to turtle on the result of the last month, and you're going to see a real credit contraction. And so, the Fed themselves said that represents about another 100 basis points of incremental tightening, just what they expect to happen on the credit side. And so it's tough. I mean, I think about this as like there's just no safety net for them here. It's the only way that I think they're going to be able to thread this needle is just it's going to be the strength of the U.S. consumer and the job market, even if it weakens, still coming from such a really healthy place. That's the one little sliver of hope I think we might have. You mentioned OPEC Plus. That's a concern, obviously. But the other inflation that you're talking about, and I guess it's labor market related, what can we do to help the Fed? Is there anything we can do, policymakers, to try and ease that? And is that really where a lot of the inflation is sort of in the system at this point? Yeah, it is. It's really on the services side, and 70% of the services input cost is labor, and so it is a labor and it's a wage issue. Now, the wages have been reasonably tame, but you just question, like, can that continue to hold? There's not a lot I think we can do, because if you look at the cohorts by age, the labor participation rate has recovered to pre-pandemic levels across almost all the age cohorts except for 55 and older, and so we just think that that's a labor cohort that is going to likely be out of the market, that's a lot of early retirements, a lot of people post-pandemic are just not coming back. Are there policy changes we could make around immigration? Are there policy changes we could make maybe to help with getting more moms back into the workforce? Yes, but I think one of your earlier guests said it, where you have a very polarized political system right now, so it's just hard to see a path for really meaningful change on some of those fronts. Yeah.